the first time you ever pressed.
Now look at that. Look how perfect that is.
You right.
Right.
Listen, don't do it today. I had just woke up a couple hours ago.
Why?
I know, because you know what happened? I fell asleep during the Oscars.
We all did.
And
I did too.
I still was up. Like, I could not go to sleep. No matter what I watched, no matter how many horrible movies it was on Netflix, I could not fall asleep until 5 o'clock. And then I woke up during Wendy Williams, and she was going in on Oprah. And then I fell asleep. Then I switched it from The View to The View. And then I heard Whoopi, and then I fell asleep. Then I woke up, it was like 12:18. I said, oh my God, I gotta get the hell up. I just was like tired for some reason. I didn't do anything, believe it or not. But don't do it. But I'm going to bed early tonight. What's going on YouTube? It's Kevin and Mikkel. We are back with a new video. Happy freaking Leap Day. You know, today is February 29th, the last day of February, the last day of Black History Month. We only get this extra day every 4 years, so shout out to us. Please make sure you start this video off by clicking that thumbs up button. Also, make sure that you share this video to Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, Instagram, or wherever you share our videos. And tonight, we are going to first start with the 88th Annual Academy Awards, which was hosted last night by Chris Rock. Now, before we start, the ratings came back today, and they were saying that this year's Oscars was 6% less viewed than last year's numbers, and the lowest number of viewership in 8 years. So that means for the past 2 years, viewerships for the Academy Awards have been on the decline. And I'm not sure if it's because of the lack of black people being nominated for Oscars, or could it be the host, because last year Neil Patrick Harris hosted the Oscars and he didn't do a great job. Then we had Chris Rock host this year. Maybe people are not interested in him. I do believe that being a host has star power, and you know, people wanting to watch the show to see what the host will bring to the show. And also it could be the movies. And you know, I think this year also that we already knew who was going to win Best Actor, who was going to win Best Actress. Nobody really knew about the film, so I think it took away from the actual show. And I think the only thing, or the main thing that people wanted to see was how Chris Rock was going to address the lack of diversity in the nominations for black people. Not just black people, Latino people, because it's basically all white people nominated for the major categories. Also, before, I know Chris Rock was saying that people were saying that he should step out of the Oscar nominations and everything. I mean, do not host the show because people weren't nominated. He was announced as the host back in like October or November. So him being on the Oscars and being the host, that had nothing to do with him, because he was already nominated. Not nominated, he was already announced as the host. So, you know, I think it was an okay show from what I saw.
I'm sorry to cut you off, but what is that? That doesn't have any. What you just said doesn't make sense.
Because a lot of people were asking him to boycott the Oscars.
Right.
But he was already announced as the host before the nominations even came out in January.
Yeah, but after the nominations came out, people started saying that he should step down.
And he was saying that he's not going to step down.
Right. No. I agree. He shouldn't have stepped down. But I'm only saying what you said didn't make sense. Because people were asking him to step down after they found out what was going on about black people not being nominated. So whether or not he was announced as the host back in October, that really doesn't mean anything. They were asking him to step down after they found out the black people weren't. And he could have stepped down. I'm not saying he should have stepped down.
I don't think he should have.
No, I don't think he should have either. I don't even think it should have been a boycott. I think. Well, I'll let you finish.
Yeah, I was finished. I just wanted to let people know, because you know it was people on Instagram. I see a lot on my time feed. I'm not on Instagram, on Twitter. I know you don't really do the Twitter thing anymore, but I think Chris Rock was not funny, but I do think that he got his point across last night about the Oscars and how they treat I don't want to make it just about the people of color, but we have come a long way when it comes to movies. It was just that for 2 years in a row, you guys decided not to nominate anybody who had, of people of color or Latinos in these major categories. We haven't seen anything at all. And we had some good roles. And we had black people in good roles and they still weren't nominated. You had Sylvester Stallone nominated in a movie about Creed, and Michael B. Jordan was nominated. Now, I don't know if he should have deserved the Oscar nomination. I do know that the movie was good. Ryan Coogler could have got a Best Director nomination, but that's not, probably what the Oscars like when it comes to them nominating films and nominating directors and all of that stuff. But Chris Rock, I really enjoyed his opening monologue. What did you think of it?
I did not like Chris Rock's opening monologue. As a matter of fact, I thought my whole thing with his monologue was, first of all, let's just be very clear. I don't think Chris Rock is funny. Never did think he was funny. So I agree with you. There was nothing he said that was funny to me. When he started, he opened up talking about the boycott. There were a few things that I agreed with Chris Rock on, but I just was so upset that he spent a good 5 or how many minutes it was for his opening monologue talking about this boycott and trying to be funny about it. Now, yes, he was bringing light to a situation, and making a lot of people in that room feel uncomfortable. But to be quite honest with you, I didn't even know if they were uncomfortable or not, because, they were laughing hysterically. To me, it was bring light to the situation and move on. Because tonight being up on that stage and talking about it for a good 5 or 6 minutes ain't going to change nothing. This is the way it is. The only thing we can do is, like I said in the past videos that we talked about this, if you don't like it, start your own thing. Because this has been going on for damn near 90 years and ain't nothing changed. This is not the first time the Oscars have not nominated us. Somebody posted on Instagram the other day a picture of a magazine cover of People magazine from 1996. And they were talking about the Oscars that year and talking about how Hollywood blackout. The film industry says all the right things, but its continued exclusion of African Americans is a national disgrace. And it has a picture of Angela Bassett, Denzel Washington, Lawrence Fishburne, and Whitney Houston as a cover. It says the 166 nominees at this month's Oscars include only one black and none of the stars that I mentioned. So this is not a new thing. This is an ongoing thing. Okay? This is nothing new. And I think this is probably one of the reasons why I did not really particularly care for Chris Rock's monologue. Because here you have this situation that's been going on for some time now. Black people have had every opportunity to talk about it. And I don't mean just talk about it during Oscar season. Talk about it when we ain't mentioning the Oscars. Talk about it when we're not talking about the Golden Globes. Talk about it when we're not talking about the Screen Actors Guild Award. If you really want to make change, talk about it all year round. Just like black people say, oh, well, Black History Month ain't just in the month of February, it's all year round. Make this conversation about how the Oscars don't include us on all year round topic. So for me, I was happy that Chris Rock, I keep almost saying Chris Brown, that Chris Rock talked about it, but you didn't have to spend your whole monologue talking about it. And certain things, like I said, I agree with him. Certain things I just felt like, why is he even saying this?
Yes,
the lynching joke.
Oh, I knew you was about to say it.
He lost me on the lynching joke. I didn't find it funny. There were a few people saying, oh, well, this is satire. And I'm sorry, but when we're talking about people hanging from a tree, that's not satire. That's history. And that's history that a lot of us don't want to think about or even visualize in our head, because it's a sad topic for many black people. It's a sad topic for many black people. And I don't think that the Oscar stage is a stage to be talking about people hanging from a tree.
Now listen,
it's just not cool.
I think that if he would have said it in a different way and instead of trying
to make it out of a joke, then.
Yeah.
But that's why I posted that. I couldn't tell where Chris Rock was being funny and where he was being serious. Because a lot of the stuff that he was saying, I was like, you're right. But then it was like he was making it into a joke, and I'm like, well, no, that shouldn't be made into a joke. You should be serious. And so then maybe these people, these white folks that you standing up in front of, won't be laughing at a serious topic that you're mentioning. You know what I mean? Sometimes the message can be can be overshadowed by a joke, and it's like, why you telling a joke, and there's a serious message right here. You know what I mean? I'm sorry, Chris Rock. I don't know whose idea it was to bring Stacey Dash out there,
because it was awkward.
Because when she walked out, I'm lying across my bed, and when she walked out, at first I had to my eyes really had to focus to make sure it was really her, and then. When I realized it was her, and she said the whole thing about Black History Month, and the white people started laughing like it was funny, I'm like,
they didn't even laugh; they were quiet.
Well, I thought I heard them laugh. I thought I heard a few people laugh. But to me, I felt as though, why is this even a joke?
Yeah, tell like she's the new president of the diversity for the Oscars.
Yeah, like here we are. We're talking about a serious topic about how we're not being included, and then you have this joke who does not feel that we should be included, who does not feel we should even have a month, and you have this joke come out and add more salt to the wound. Like, it just didn't make sense to me. Like, Chris Rock's whole monologue to me was horrible. I didn't think it was funny. I think that he could have. A lot of people thought that he did a good job, and they felt like. But me personally, I'm like, damn, I wish he could have. Really been. I wish he could have taken that moment to actually be serious, rather than trying to make joke of a serious situation. I do agree with him when he said about Jada Pinkett Smith. You're only doing this because your husband wasn't nominated. That's the only reason why you feel as though the Oscars should have been boycotted. Me, on the other hand, you know how I feel. I don't think the Oscars should have been boycotted. I think those black people should have came in there, and I think every time Chris Rock made a serious comment about what was going on, all them black folks in there should have stood the fuck up and had a standing ovation, okay? And then for the president of the Oscars, of the Academy Awards, to be a black woman, I mean, it's just, it's sad.
Diversity department, no, she is just the head of it.
No, she's the head of the Academy.
She needs to get rid of some of them people that's on the Academy, or add more people of color on to that.
It's just
board. Because, I mean, you see the same movies nominated over and over. Almost the same actresses and actors nominated over
and as funny as that thing that Chris Rock did at the movie theater when he was asking those black people questions, as funny as that was to me, it was also serious because half the movies that were nominated I had never heard of. The only one I really heard of was Spotlight. That was the only one. And I kept saying I wanted to see that because I thought that was really good. All those other movies, The Danish Girl, I saw previews for that. Mad Max, I had never seen previews for that. Some of those other movies I had never seen previews for, and it's like, where are they showing these movies at?
But these movies made a lot of money because I looked on their pages and I was like, well, damn, all of them made over $100 million.
Like, Straight Outta Compton could have been nominated for Best Picture. Yes. Even if you didn't nominate any of the actors, you could have nominated Straight Outta Compton for Best Picture. You could have nominated that for Best Picture. You could have nominated that. Can you imagine the Academy Awards nominating a film like Straight Outta Compton? Like, it's so sad. The Academy Awards have missed the mark on so many levels throughout the 88 years of its history. They have missed the mark on so many levels. And I'm happy that black people are speaking out about what's going on, but this is nothing new. And I get upset when black people speak out about stuff as if it's brand new, but yet this happens all the time. Don't just talk about it when the Oscars roll around. Talk about it all year long so that when the next Academy Awards come about, we won't have these issues. Now, I guarantee you, since we're talking about it now, they're going to make sure next year that there's some black films.
And it's going to look like it's a sympathy vote.
Yeah, it is.
Especially if we win.
Okay? Trust me, we already know how this, but you need to constantly talk about this so we can be included on things. And then, this is my thing. This is just how I feel. Because I love the movies and I love stuff like this. I love the award shows. I really do like it. But this is for certain black people, not all black people. For those of you that say that, well, I don't really care about the Oscars, that's not for us anyway. If you don't really care about the Oscars and it's not for us, fine, that's your own opinion. But then don't make comments about it.
Come on.
Because now you're confusing me. One tweet you talking about how you don't care about the Oscars and how it doesn't mean anything to you, but then 2 tweets later you talking about how, black people are just never included. Listen, you don't care about that, so don't talk about that.
Yeah.
Don't talk about something you don't care about. I don't talk about it. Let me tell you something. Yesterday at church, we took Holy Communion. Fourth Sundays at my church is Holy Communion. We don't do first Sundays, we do fourth Sundays. My pastor, before we took Holy Communion, he was talking to the congregation. He was just telling us, listen, you know, for those of y'all that have this hatred in your heart for different people, or you dislike people, you need to get that out of your heart before you take this Holy Communion. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. You really need to think and pray on it and get that out of your heart, because you're about to take, you know, this communion, and you shouldn't be taking it, and you got all this in your head. So then he talked about how, you know, people, you know, you don't like somebody, and I forgot the words that he said, but he was saying how, you know, you don't like certain people, but you know, how could you possibly sit next to them in church, or you don't like somebody in church and you sit next to them, this, that, and the third. And one of the things that I said, you know, and I said it kind of out loud, and I shouldn't have said it, but I said it out loud, and when he said it, and I said, well, you know, certain people that I don't like, not saying in church, but I said certain people that I don't like, I don't pay them no mind. They're almost as if they're not even there. That's my whole thing. So what I'm saying, if you don't care about the Oscars, you should not even be talking about it. And I think I've gotten through life a little bit easier not paying people any mind. Like, for instance, some of these bloggers and YouTubers that say stuff about us, they don't like me, they don't like Kevin, they don't like me on this show, they think this and they think that about me, and they tell Kevin all nasty stuff about me. I pay them no mind. It's almost as if they don't even exist. And I'm telling you, Kevin has introduced me to a lot of them, because had it not been for him, I wouldn't know who half of those people on YouTube were. I just wouldn't know, because I don't pay them no mind. I don't even pay this show any mind. You know what I mean? I love this show, but you see, the point that I'm making is stuff that you don't care about, you don't pay no mind to. You just don't. So don't talk about the Oscars and say I don't care about that, but then you got a whole paragraph of why the Oscars is unfair. You know what I mean? Like, invest your time in something that you actually care about. And that's what I'm going to say to that.
That post yesterday you put, you would just be surprised that the people that stand beside you are not even really here for you.
Yeah.
I mean, you would really be surprised. Mm-hmm. And I found out some stuff too, which I'm not going to talk about on this show, but I mean, it's just funny how the people that stand beside you daggering you in the back all the time. And that's all I'm going to leave with.
Well, you saw what I said.
Yes, and I just heard what you said.
Listen, listen.
I'm serious.
Those of you, listen, you got to pay close attention to those people, including your family. You have to pay very close attention to people. I am a strong believer of, when someone shows you who they are, believe them. I am a strong believer of that. And I don't mean when someone shows you who they are on camera or something, but when you actually interact with someone and they show you who they are, you need to believe them. Okay? Because I can't be friends with somebody who's going to show me who they are right here and then go around the corner and it's a brand new person, because I'm thinking like, well, what the fuck is going on? You see what I'm saying? Yeah. Listen, Judas, he walked with Jesus. He walked with him. He knew who he was, but he never accepted Jesus as his Lord and Savior. Never accepted that man as his Lord and Savior. And the moral that I posted to that was, you have to pay close attention to those that walk with you. Because all that walk with you ain't here for you.
Yes.
They're just not. They're not. Yeah. And Kevin hates it. And I know he do. I know he does. You know, and I feel bad that he hates it. But, you know, it's just how I feel. When I try to exclude myself from certain things that Kevin wants me to be a part of, I don't partake in it, because I can see how people are. I just get a bad vibe from certain people, and so I try not to be a part of it. And Kevin doesn't like it.
Yeah, because I say it's just because I say do it for our viewers,
I know,
people that love us.
But
that's
you know what? But you know what?
To.
You should never put yourself in a situation where you are around bad energy, because it just makes things even more worse. Let me tell you something. If y'all don't believe in demons and spirits, you better wake up, because demons and bad energy and spirits are for real. Okay? And when you feel something, and when you know when people say when your spirit or your gut tells you, you need to listen to yourself. Okay? Just some things I just don't like to be a part of, because I'm like, I I can see me now, and I'm still working on this right here. This mouth, I'm still working on it, and I can see me now. Someone saying something that is a little slick, and then I have to say something bad when I really don't want to. So instead of doing all that, I just exclude myself from that. And guess what, y'all? I sleep better at night because I don't have no.
Yeah.
I sleep so much better at night.
So I'm just saying, if y'all hear any bad things, please do not bring it to my attention if they don't say my name. Because if they say my name, I'm going to have a whole lot to say.
Well, is this something that has to do with what you said?
I am not saying, oh yes. People, well, you know what's so funny is that, when I went through my house fire situation, there were some people that were actually talking behind my back, and I found out. And it's just like, wow, I didn't know that's how you really feel.
Was it friends?
I wouldn't say friends, because I'm not really like, I don't hang out with them and talk to them on the phone. But I mean, people said some stuff.
Now let me ask you this. I know you don't want to talk about it, but if it wasn't friends or family, why is it like bothering you so much?
Because if you want to stand beside me, support me, don't talk shit about me.
Was it somebody who was claiming to support?
I don't want to say. I just don't want to say no names.
No, you're not saying no. I'm not asking you to say a name. I'm asking you, were they people who were claiming to support you? Like, were they?
Of course. That's the most. I think that's the thing that hurts the most to me, because with me, I'm about the unity. I can be like, fuck everybody else. I could be like F everybody else, and I'm just gonna do me. Like I think I really contemplated on not even doing the blackout. Like I just was like, fuck it, I'm just gonna do the Scorpion Show barbecue and just exit, because it's the energy that's being involved with it and some of the people.
Oh, so you?
It was actually more than one person. No, it was more than one person. So it's just like, damn.
So now you see what I mean by bad energy.
Yeah, but you know what? I'm going to do this because this is for the viewers.
It is for the viewers. And I'm not telling you not to do it. By all means, I'm not telling you or anybody else not to do it. But I'm saying, you see what I mean by bad energy. You have people who will laugh and smile, and I'll never forget, and I think you probably remember this. I will never forget this as long as I live. We had two people who talked bad about us, that used to talk so bad about us on the internet. This was early on in the days of the early days of the Scorpion Show. They used to talk so bad about us, and I think one of them even made videos about us. We went to Atlanta one year. I think you know what I'm talking about. We were in the club, and we ran into these very same two people and ran up to us and was like, "Oh my God, we love y'all." And I mean, I was like, "Is this fucking for real?" But it just goes to show you. I mean, that's how people are. That's how they are. And I think because we never really talked about it on our show, they probably were under the impression that we had never even seen the stuff that they made about us.
Yeah. People do it all the time.
All the time.
All to talk shit about you. Then when you're right there, it's nothing but, laughs and giggles.
Yeah, I love your show. That's what we get a lot. I love your show. I love you on the show. And then in the back of my mind, I'm sitting there like,
yes.
Bitch, I just saw you
and then
tweet about how you can't stand me.
Yeah, just like how some people, I think it's maybe two people, like how the blackout, like I was just a rude bitch and all of that, and I wasn't at all.
The blackout?
Yes, I was crying. I took pictures with people even with tears in my eye, and then I asked for a moment. Then that first time I just said, give me a moment. Oh, you's a bitch and all this and that. No, that's not even who I am. But anyway, y'all, I'm looking forward to the blackout July 16th, the blackout weekend July 15th through the 17th. I'm going to be there and I'm going to have a great time. And I hope that you will be there too. And if you would like tickets to attend, send it to sweetandgreetc@gmail.com. Tickets are $20 before April 1st. So make sure you get your tickets because it's going to be a great event. We're going to move on to the next topic. Oh, I'm getting sad. Because it really has been bothering me.
Did you say something to them?
I didn't even talk about it. But it really
How did you find out? Can I ask you that because I'm curious?
First of all, Scorpion Show supporters, they are the fucking best.
They're like the Beehive?
Yes, they will. If they hear you say anything, they will let you know. Even if your name is not being said, they know who's being discussed. Because, I mean, anybody can break that down. Just like, let's say, like, for instance, like Tamar says some things and bring up shit and don't say no names, we know who she's talking about. So I'm not never stupid. And then, you know, I had someone personally call me and tell me this is what this person said. And they were not drunk. This is how they actually felt about your situation.
Ooh.
But see, let me tell y'all something. One thing that bothers me is that, yes, I live here, I live at my home, but I'm not responsible for the decisions that my mom do when it comes to her house or what I do not.
Can I ask you a question? How would anybody who doesn't even live here or know you personally would even know anything to say anything bad about what's going on?
I don't know. But it's just...
But you know what, too? This is another reason why I love your mom getting on camera, but I think some things should not be discussed on camera.
And that's why I just...
You know, sometimes she has to be filtered.
Yeah.
Because your mom is a very nice lady and she's a very open lady, but sometimes when you're speaking into that camera, I don't think she realizes that that camera is behind that lens is thousands and thousands of people watching and taking, and sometimes she says things and she shouldn't, and try to use it against you. That's why when people ask me, well, why don't you record here? Why? Or why don't you never talk about? Because that ain't nobody's business. You know what I mean? What goes on at my house is nobody's business. Who I talk to or who I sleep in the bed with is nobody's business. Now, Kevin and I may laugh and joke about, you know, sexual things that, but at the end of the day, who I talk to and who I'm dating or who I'm not dating is nobody's business. Because the minute you put that out there, people are trying to go see if they can find out who it is.
And get more information.
And go get more information.
See they on Jack Grinder.
Right, let's see this person. There you go. So you would never
You
know
are
that.
messy.
You would never know that. You would never know that. You know? And I love your mom dearly, but sometimes I would watch her videos and I'd be like, why did she just say that? Where was Kevin when she said that? What is going on? She's saying too much.
Yeah. That's why I don't really do some of the shows like we used to.
Well, you just have to tell her, listen, before we push record, don't be getting on here telling all your business.
Yeah, then, you just trying to lock me. No, I'm not trying to lock you up or lock you out of anything.
Who said that?
My mom. I just say, like, people that watch, everybody's not watching for the best interest.
No, they're not. They're watching to see what they can get.
Yeah. And then you'll be surprised how many people will tweet you or write you from a private Twitter or a private Instagram account and know all of your business or most of the things that you discuss on the show and try to use it against you. I mean, you would really be surprised. You would really be surprised. Like, it's just...
Well, I can't wait till this camera's off so you can tell me everything that happened.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. I can't wait. I can't wait. I can't wait. Because you always leave me out.
Yeah. I've just been dealing with it by myself. And not only, it's been a lot. I've been through these past couple months.
Well, you sure you want to tell me? Because I might cuss them out.
I don't need you to. I don't need you to.
Because you know me, I'll slick. They'll say something to me and I'll just slick go off. Like, bitch, what? And I don't want to do that. But I still want you to tell me.
I will tell you after the camera go on. So let's get into Donald Trump and the KKK.
Jesus.
So yesterday...
Another person I don't look. Another person. But we have to talk about it.
Yesterday, Donald Trump did an interview with with Jake Tapper for the CNN State of the Union political show that comes on. And he was interviewing Donald Trump. Of course, they were talking about him winning and everything, him going back and forth with Marco Rubio and Ted Cruz at the Republican debate last week. And he then began to talk to him about David Duke, who is the Grand Wizard, or former Grand Wizard of the Ku Klux Klan, and how he was putting his support behind Donald Trump, and that he was asking Donald Trump, would he disavow David Duke or any other supremacist group? And Donald Trump, he just responded by saying like he didn't know who David Duke was, and then Jay Tep was like,
he would have to look into it.
I had to look into it
to see who he
and
is.
see what these groups represent and everything like that. And then he just, I don't know who David Duke is. But he told you he was someone from the Ku Klux Klan. Anytime you hear Ku Klux Klan, it should be a
automatic.
No,
I don't need that.
And I know I gotta look into it and see who these people are and see who these groups are, because he told you they were white supremacist groups that were supporting you. And you should have denounced those as soon as Jake Tapper said it.
Donald Trump's response should have been, I don't know who David Duke is, but I can tell you this much. I don't want any support from any white supremacist group supporting me. Thanks, but no thanks. That should have been his response. Not, oh, I have to look into it. When they said that back in 2000, you did an interview where you mentioned David Duke by name and saying how, what was it, I forgot what it was, but they said,
Reform Party.
yeah, he was saying, but they said that they put up an interview where Donald Trump actually mentioned David Duke by name and talked about who David Duke was. But now he doesn't know who David Duke is, and he's never heard of him. It's just Donald Trump, and the guy who wore that T-shirt at Donald Trump's rally about the KKK supporting Donald Trump, I commend him, because Donald Trump's reaction was the reaction that you would get from somebody who doesn't know what to say. Donald Trump, instead of asking for security to take this guy off, or instead of saying, I don't support that, this, that, and the third, he just stood there and looked at the guy and then walked around the stage like he was upset, listening to his crowd heckle the guy. But then once he began to speak, his remarks wasn't towards the guy in the KKK shirt. His remarks was towards security and how security didn't move fast enough to get the guy out of there. It was like, come on, like you really totally missed the moment of saying, I don't support anything like that. It's just sad. Like, Donald Trump, you are showing your true colors over and over and over again throughout this campaign. And it's sad because as much as the Republican Party really don't want you as their nominee, they really don't want you as a nominee, it's becoming reality that they're going to have to deal with it, that you are going to become their nominee, and the only thing they can do is rally behind you. And even though you're going to have a lot of those Republican senators and governors and congressmen and women supporting him, behind closed doors, they don't really want this man, because this man is representing something that many of them don't represent. Do I believe that all Republicans are racist? Hell no, I don't believe that. Just like I don't believe that all black people are saints. You know what I mean? you know what I mean? Come on now, I have to be pretty stupid to think that all black people are saints. You got some crazy ass motherfuckers out here, okay? I don't believe that all Republicans are prejudiced. I don't believe that at all. I believe that you have some good Republicans just like you have some evil Democrats. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, the name of the game is politics. And they're going to say and do whatever it is so that they can get votes or re-elected, okay? That's just the way it is. It's sad, but that's the way of politics. And many of them don't want him. Yeah. But I think that we need to open our eyes and see what's going on. Okay, Marvin Gaye had a song, "What's Going On," that he made about the Vietnam War. He was trying to figure out what the fuck was going on. I'm trying to figure out what's going on today in 2016, and how is it that we have someone like Donald Trump who is this much closer to becoming the leader of the free world. I'm just trying to figure out how this is even possible, when just a year ago we was watching him fire people on The Apprentice. You know what I mean? Like, it's just crazy.
Yeah, because he's getting up there and he's saying what he wants to say, and he's not getting in trouble for it, and those people love it because Donald Trump speaks for them. And you see it on TV all the time. He says what he wants. He says how we feel. And the Republicans are coming out in droves. And
the supporters.
Yeah, the supporters, and they voting. And I mean, it's record numbers.
Because they're sitting at home saying that they don't want Muslims and Mexicans in here too. And because now they have a candidate that's actually saying it, he ain't sugarcoating it, he's saying it. They're like, yes, that's the guy we want, because we've been saying that at home when we were sitting behind the kitchen table over a peg of beer, or a keg of beer, whatever that was called, because I don't drink.
And I don't really think it's a big issue with the Mexicans being here, like for me, because we don't really hear anything about it, like except for that last time after Donald Trump said something, became national news about one of the Mexicans that got kicked out of the country came back, or he was from another country and killed someone. But it has never been like a real big issue, and it's not nothing that I care about. And you don't hear the Democrats during their the debates. You don't never hear that come up, or you don't hear them discuss that situation. With the Democrats, all I keep hearing about, with the Republicans, all I keep hearing about is we're going to build this wall, we're going to defund Planned Parenthood, or did I say that wrong? Planned Parenthood, and we're going to defend the Second Amendment. And we're not trying to, well, the Democrats, the president is not trying to get rid of the Second Amendment. He wants to crack down on those who are getting guns, because guns should not be in everybody's hands, especially if you're not mentally able to think correctly when it comes to using a gun, when and why you need to use a gun. Because you have too many people going around killing people, and they have mental issues. And guns shouldn't be in their hands at all, especially if you do a background check and see that they have mental issues. Yes, something needs to be done about that. Defund Planned Parenthood because of your disagreements with abortion, when Planned Parenthood only does 3% of abortions, and the rest of them goes to help women with a whole bunch of issues that women may have. And the wall, again, that's not one of my major issues. It's not something that I worry about. It's just, I just think that it's crazy that so many people are following behind Donald Trump. And I mean, if we don't get our shit together, he could be the president. And we don't want that.
Well, I will have to say that I disagree with you with the whole, because I have a problem with people coming in this country illegally.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's what a lot of people have a problem with. Do I have a problem with illegal Mexicans or whomever coming into this country illegally and causing crimes and this? Yeah, I have a problem with that. Now, that issue that you mentioned with Donald Trump mentioning about that and then it went national, that may be the only issue that you heard, but that is not the only issue that I've heard of. Actually, I watched a special where they did it was an hour-long special about people who came to this country illegally and did crimes in this country that were so heinous. They killed people, they robbed people. There was this one guy who stole a car and he crashed into this elderly woman who was a nun and killed her. So I think it was like somewhere in Virginia somewhere. And when they arrested him, they didn't even have anything on him because he wasn't even supposed to be in this country. Mm-hmm. So I think that is one of the issues. I will say that I agree that, do I want people to be just swept out of this country? No. But I do agree that people should come into this country the right way if you want to come here and leave. And no, I don't believe that people who are already here, who have been here for 10 and 15 years, should then have to be shipped back home. No, I don't believe that at all. I definitely don't. I think that they should be granted some sort of citizenship or should go through a process to become legal citizens. But I do not believe that they should be taken and just told, oh, now you have to go back home after they didn't establish being here for so long. But the sad reality and the truth of it is you do have a lot of people who come into this country. First of all, we already have enough problems with our own fucking criminals. Okay? We already have enough problem with those criminals. Then we got to come and deal with criminals who don't even belong here. That's like me going over to... That's like me finding a way to go to hell over to London. Or not even London. That's another... Canada. I'm going over to Canada and I don't even belong the fuck over there. But yet I'm going over there and I'm causing all types of havoc. I can see why people wouldn't want me to hell over here. We are dealing with our own criminals. We don't want McKell black ass over here and causing havoc, because then we got to deal with our criminals plus him. And then what makes it worse is that we don't even know where the fuck he's hiding at, because there's so many of them here, we don't know what the fuck's going on. That's, I think, what a lot of people are, and I mean, Democrats feel the same way too. They think that people who come into this country should come into this country legally. But we don't think that people who are already here, who have been here for X amount of years, should be taken and thrown back to Mexico like Donald Trump feels. He thinks that people who were here for X amount of years should be taken and thrown back. And I don't believe that. I don't believe that in my heart. Especially if you've come here, you've done the right thing, you haven't caused any crimes, you've establish yourself here. You work, you have a family here. I don't believe that they should be taken away. I don't think that's right because many of them have born children here in this country. You know what I mean? So yes, that situation, because I think because you probably may not have heard of it because a lot of it doesn't happen on this coast. A lot of it happens on the West Coast. Because you got to remember, they're coming in from Mexico, which is close to Texas, which is close to California. So a lot of that shit, we're not nowhere near Texas and Mexico and California. We're all the way on the East fucking coast. You know?
Yeah, for me, it's just that I knew that a lot of people come here because they want the opportunity. This is land of the free. I shouldn't be naive to think that, everybody that coming over here is over here for a better living. Of course, you're going to have that everywhere. Murderers, people, drug lords coming in, smuggling drugs into the country.
Yeah.
I know a whole lot of that is going on, but I think for the majority, a lot of people are escaping Mexico because they want a better life. But yes, it should be done the correct way.
But it should be done legally because I can't. Mikkel McClendon can't go to Canada and just say, okay, well, I'm here, let me get a job, let me get a house or an apartment, and just start doing my rinky-dink thing. I can't do that. I have to go through a process to become a legalized citizen.
Yeah, but I want to know what is the correct way for Mexicans to come into the United States?
Listen, we're going to have to look that up because I'm not 100% sure, but I know for a fact it ain't coming over here in the pitch black of night, running 15 of them running across the damn border.
Yes, I've seen.
You know what I mean? We've seen those footages of them coming across when it's 2 o'clock in the morning. They run across the border. You know what I mean? Like, come on, that's not legal. Running across the border, I can't even run across the street without watching looking both ways. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, but see, why is it just Mexico? Because wasn't people coming?
No, it's not just Mexico.
Cuba and
Yeah,
they come over to
it's
the
illegal.
Florida coast.
It's illegal immigrants. Period.
Yeah,
but you got to remember.
here.
But you have to remember, Mexico is connected to
the United States.
Whereas those places from those other islands, they got to come across the border. You know what I mean? One minute you standing in Mexico, and a few feet over you standing in Texas.
Yes.
So I mean that's why it's so easy for them to come the hell over. But it amazes me that after all these years, and they still don't have a correct way for these people to come over here, rather than running across or skirming through under fences and shit like that. Fences that should have been torn down back in the 80s when Reagan was president. Like, it just makes no sense. It really does not make any sense at all. It doesn't make any sense. And I can see why a lot of people would be upset. Let me tell you something. If I was a parent of someone who was killed by an illegal immigrant, you damn right I would be pissed. I would want to know why the fuck did that illegal immigrant, why did they have the option to come over here and kill my child? I would be very upset by that. I would be very upset by that. But I would be rational enough to know that no, I don't think that everybody should be sent back home. But why is it that it's so easy for them to come over here and nobody's, and no. All of them, like you said, that come over here are not causing havoc. Many of them do come over here to raise families and start, better lives. But you have to come over here the correct way, and it's nothing wrong with that. And if anybody thinks that it's something wrong with people coming over the correct way, then guess what? I'll have to ask you this. If any of you have a problem with people coming over here the correct way and you feel as though no, they shouldn't have to do all that, well, let me ask you this. I would need to ask any of you who disagree with me, how many people do you let just walk the fuck up in your house without knocking on the door? And then you tell me if you agree with me or not. Because you can't just walk the fuck up in 308. You have to knock on the door. And then you have to wait until I say, come in. Or open that door and let you the fucking. You see what I'm saying? You see the point that I'm making? Like, you need to have the right way of coming in. I can't walk up into nobody's office at work and just say, can I? No. I need to, and wait until I hear somebody say, come in. And that should be the same way for illegal immigrants. You need to go through a process and wait until we say, come in. Did I break it down?
Yes, you did.
I hope I did.
I think you did a great job.
Thank you. You know what I mean? Because I need somebody to tell me whose house they just... I mean, I know I walked the fuck up in here without knocking on the door. But I've been doing it for 8 years. We ain't talking about here. Because everybody walks
up. Oh, now? So I've been coming here all this time. Now you want to say, oh, you got to knock?
Now you got to
knock.
But you better not kick me out. That's the moral to the story. Don't kick me out. But you know the point that I'm making. You can't just walk up into a stranger's house.
No, y'all can't.
No, you can't. You can't do that.
So, damn, it's 52 questions. Mikhail, there's no way I could go through 52 questions.
Listen, I had to ask them because when I went to the White House a few weeks ago, I had to get the fuck permission. And they didn't care if it was a church coming, because it was a church, it was 3 buses of us. They didn't, St. Joseph Baptist who, we don't care. Y'all still need permission to come the fuck up in here. And just because you're a church don't mean that we're going to grant you that permission. They did grant us, but they don't grant everybody to come the hell up in there, okay? You can't just walk up in the White House. They say it's the people's house, but you still have a process that you have to go through. Because they told my aunt and Renee, y'all can't come in here. Because 2 of them thought that they
had no idea.
Didn't have no idea. They thought they was going to walk up in there. And I said, Renee, but I've been saying this since July that we need to bring ID. Like, it just goes, people hear what they want to hear and they do what they want to do. You got to follow the rules, y'all. You have to follow the rules. If the rules apply to me, it should apply to you. Jesus.
Listen, you guys have asked us, because I know a lot of y'all been like Q&A, like we want to ask you guys some questions and stuff. But I mean, it's hard to go through these questions. It's 58 questions, and you were responding to some of them.
I responded to some of them, so now it's your turn to respond to the other ones. Okay.
Someone said, "Oh, Shawnee boy, who is your dream guest to interview?" I think y'all should know this, but I got 2. Of course, Janet Jackson. And I want Destiny's Child on the Scorpion Show. Not just one. I mean, I would love to interview them individually like Kelly and Beyonce, because Michelle has already been on. But I would love to interview them as a group. And not just talk about the music thing. Let's talk about life, marriage, children, other things. It would just be good. What have you learned since you're split from 12 years? And are y'all going to get back together? When is this album? There's so many things that I would love to ask them. And Janet Jackson, I don't think she hasn't really been on interviews, but I think it would be great to hear her and talk about her new life and marrying. Did she change her religion and her not dressing the way she used to dress on tour? Now she's covered up. There would be so much to discuss besides
her
just
husband
music.
is Muslim, right?
Yeah. And did she convert? I don't even know. That would be a good question.
Very interesting.
Yeah, it's like it's so much.
Because they don't play.
There's so many questions besides just music to ask.
They don't. I don't know too many Muslim men who married a woman who wasn't Muslim, and like the woman remained not Muslim. I don't know too many men like that.
You sit down.
I will give it up to Muslims. Muslims are the Muslim religion is a religion that is a very, very strict religion. And they don't. Many of the practicing Muslims, the ones who are they take their religion serious, and they take their religion serious the way a lot of other religions should. The way a lot of Christians should take their religion serious as well. You know what I mean? Like they take it very serious. They do. So you have some people out here who jump into these different religions, and they jump into it just the hell to jump into it. Like some people get saved just I want you to really believe in your heart, and confess with your tongue that Jesus Christ rose. Great. Don't just say it because you heard somebody else say it. You need to believe that in your heart. Okay. You know what I mean? But some people don't believe it in their heart. Some people don't believe it in their heart. That's why everybody that go to church every Sunday ain't going to heaven. Because a lot of people go to church. They go to church and listen. This is about to be a whole nother video, so I don't even go there. Because I felt my spirit about to go there. Like, whoa, you about to go there, and you about to make some people mad, and then you about to make some people really happy. But I don't want to go there just yet. I want to wait. But what I will say back to Janet Jackson, it's interesting because, like you said, she's covered up now, and they don't play that either.
Yeah, I mean, even her arms, she got jewelry covering them up.
Well, but they're women. They don't play that either. You cover the hell up. Now he can't tell her not to be an entertainer, even though he probably could, because they're the men. But I mean, at the end of the day, he knows who the hell she is. But like you said, if she's covered up, she's covered up for a reason, baby.
Yes. And I would like to know if she could have children. Does he want children? It's so much. Because he's younger than her.
Yeah, but I don't think Janet Jackson is pushing 50. That's not good for somebody her age to be having kids.
But somebody can carry a fool.
Somebody can, yeah. I mean, listen. I think unless you have medical issues going on down there, that whole carrying thing, to me, I think is only... For me, I feel that unless you have medical issues and you can't carry a child because of stuff, then you have somebody carry. But if you just can't carry because, oh, I've gotten too old now and I shouldn't be having kids, it's like...
Because I know Tyra Banks just had a baby and someone carried for her.
When I heard she had a baby, I said, wait, I didn't know she was pregnant.
Okay.
And then they said, that's becoming the new trend now, having somebody else carry your kids.
Underscore May. She said, how did you guys become friends and did you ever think this show would be as big as
I'm sorry, y'all.
Because some people don't know. It's a lot of new viewers. Listen, we met through MySpace.com like in 2006. We didn't really meet. He was just this big Beyonce fan. I was this big Janet fan. And they both had released albums in 2006 around the same time. Probably like a week or a month apart. And he had his finger in his nose in one of the pictures. I don't even remember. I think it was though. And we were just going.
It actually wasn't in my nose. I remember that. It was like on the tip, but the way the angle of the picture was, it looked like it was in my nose.
Inside your nose.
And we people just fell out with that picture. It's like that picture was really talked about all over MySpace, and I was like, what? Like it was just you know what's so crazy? Because half of my finger in my nose now probably wouldn't be as big as it was at that time. Because the way people do things now on the internet, the things that you see now in somebody's profile picture, okay? You didn't see that type of stuff in 2006. You just didn't. But now it's like you see people half naked. You see people's prints.
Yes. You do. But yeah, we met through MySpace in 2008. And the funny thing was, if you didn't know, because I'm shortening this, Mikhail actually spoke at my nephew's funeral in 2007. But I still didn't know him, but he happened to know my family. And then like a year later, I was doing YouTube videos by myself. And he wrote some shit to me on MySpace. And I just like, would come over to my house. That was August 15, 2008. Never met him.
I'm sorry. Correction. You invited me.
Yes, that's what I said.
No, you said I wrote you, and then you said, "Oh, come on to my house." No. You invited me to over here. In the beginning, I declined, and I don't think I declined to you, but I declined mentally because at that time, YouTube was still relatively new, and I did not know that people were sitting in front of a camera and talking and then posting it on YouTube. See, at that time, the only time I went on YouTube was to actually look at music videos and to watch performances. I didn't know that people were doing what he was doing, which was talking to a camera. So then when I found out that you was doing that, I was saying to myself, I don't fucking do that. But then one day, you invited me, and I don't think I responded back. But then I think later on that week, I remember it was like a Friday, and I was bored at home, and I said, I'm going to take him up on his offer. And I came here and we recorded, and the first video we recorded was our first time meeting each other. So if y'all go back to that video, which I would not recommend you watch it.
It's old. This is when YouTube only had you on there for 10 minutes.
And it was like 10 to... Like you had to break the video. Yeah, it was like, it was a mess.
And
it was loud. The sound was horrible. It was just a mess. So I would not recommend y'all watch it. But yes, the first video we ever recorded was the first time we had met each other. So you can't make this stuff up. You know, when you have other people trying to emulate what you do or imitate, which or whatever. Did I say it right? Yeah. Imitate what you do, but they can't do it because the genuineness is not.
Yeah, you gotta have chemistry.
You have to have chemistry. And it's crazy because to this day, people still think that we grew up with each other. And it was like, no. No.
I don't think he would have been my friend in high school.
You damn sure wouldn't have been mine. Because I still think something's wrong with you. I still think you get a check besides this one.
Oh, Lord, I wish I did. Miss Bird, this is the last one. And I'm going to save some of these questions because I've been using like 3 questions to end the videos. Would you guys ever join a reality show? Have you been approached or ever auditioned to be on a show? I'll answer this. If the reality show was not about, I would say like tearing each other down, I would do a show like that. Because I think that a lot of people get on a reality show, they act ratchet and things like that. I want to be taken seriously, okay? I don't want to get on TV and I don't want to be acting a fool and things like that. I would want it to be a great quality reality show. Like on TV, to me, they have the best reality shows because it's people that's not afraid to go there to talk about the situations, and I actually love it. Like, even if they have disagreements, it's still done on TV, yeah. Like, I love
people fighting.
Raisin Whitley, Sweetie Pies, Flex and Shanice. Like, I love them kind of reality shows. I don't need all the fighting like the Real Housewives of Atlanta.
It's interesting.
Yeah,
but we don't.
That's just not for me.
That's not everybody's reality. That's what he's trying to say. Because that's not my reality. I don't need to raise my hand at you to get a point across. I don't need to throw a drink at you to get a point across. Man. And as greedy as I am, I ain't throwing no food at you, okay? I'm just not.
Yeah, and I've never auditioned for a reality show, but I have. I've been interviewed about a reality show by a woman that's on television today, by her company, believe it or not, and I'm not going to say no names.
Well, I went to this casting thing for the Real Housewives. The Real World. A few years ago in New York City, they had this big casting thing. Me, Eddie, and our friend Chris, we all went up there. And I went with them because they were going to go do it. I just went to tag along. But then I wound up, doing it as well. As you can see, surprisingly, none of us got picked. But I don't got to tell you that.
Yes.
None of us got picked.
Yeah.
But it was an interesting.
Yes.
It was an interesting thing, and there really is a lot of process before you actually go through when you see on TV where they're hi, my name is so so. No, there's a huge. We were in this fucking building, okay, and it was like multiple. Oh my God, it's all coming back to me, Kevin. It was multiple floors, and like one floor, it was like this big ass room, and it was like 100, 200 of us in there, and we just laughing and talking, and we all had to go through my name. It was just crazy. Then they sectioned you off, and then they took you up to another floor, and then y'all were split up in different rooms, and then you sat in front of these people. Like, it would be me sitting in front of you, and you would be asking me questions like, well, what would you do in this situation like this? And then next to me, it was just so much. It was just like, thank you, Jesus. I didn't get picked, but why am I here? I came with these two. Like, it was just really crazy. But yeah, if I could be put on a reality show without having to do that process all over again, I will gladly do it. But it is a process when you are auditioning for those shows, and I don't know how people do it. I guess the price of fame is like really high, but I don't want to be famous that bad. I just don't. I don't want to be famous that bad. I think that this right here is enough for me. Enough for me as far as, I don't know what I'm trying to say, because I would definitely do film or whatever, TV shows, stuff like that if I was approached. But if that never happened, this right here is enough for me. I don't need to be famous. Like, when I was younger, I wanted to be famous, and then I got older and realized, no, you don't want to be famous. You want to be successful. You want to be wealthy. And not wealthy with cash, but just wealthy in knowledge. Wealthy in cash, but in knowledge. You just want to be wealthy spiritually. You want to be wealthy with your family. You just want to be wealthy all around. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's like when you're younger, you get the wrong ideas about it, and then you get older, and that's when reality sets in. Just like when I was younger, I wanted all these kids, and then when I got older, reality set in.
So I was about to say something.
He didn't catch that.
No, because my mind is, because somebody sent me a text message, and I'm like, oh my God, more issues. Wait a minute.
You know what it is.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, you tried it.
Yeah, I mean, hey, listen.
Listen.
I forgot what I was about to say, but I mean, I wouldn't mind branching out into doing other avenues. Like, I mean, I love doing this. This is what I love. But yes, you know, I didn't even want to go there. But I would love to maybe try the podcasting thing. But like, if we did the podcasting, there's no way there can be no video along with it. There has to be a video somewhere because just listening to us is not enough. You have to see the facial expressions, the reactions, and all of that stuff. And you just can't get that with the podcast. Mm-hmm. So, yeah. But it is always great to break out and to do other avenues. And I will be open to that. So, thank you guys for your questions. Thank you guys for watching today's new video. Please make sure, if you are registered to vote, that you go out and vote tomorrow for Super Tuesday. There are a lot of Democratic, if you're a Democrat, I think there are like 7 states for Super Tuesday. And for the Republicans, they had 12. I don't care what side you're on, go out there and make your voice heard. And
but make it heard Democratic.
Yes. If I can make a prediction, if Marco Rubio does not win any state, he is going to drop out on Wednesday and he will back Ted Cruz. Because Ted Cruz is definitely going to win Texas tomorrow, and he's been saying the same thing, oh, I'm the only one that could beat Trump. And one of them has to get out the race now. On Wednesday, we will know if it's going to be Cruz or Cruz or Rubio. And Kasich and Carson, they could have been left by get out the race and let it be between Trump and Cruz. Trump and Cruz, and let's see who gets the nomination. And I don't really care if it's Hillary or Bernie. Even though I'm supporting Hillary, I like both of them, and I like their speeches, and I'm loving that they're showing them more on TV now. So anyway, y'all, I'm going to get out of here. We're going to get out of here. Thank you guys for watching, and we will see you guys this week with the new video. Peace.
Mm-hmm. Goodbye.
So, and let me tell you,